Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Once more, it is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be watching a single game between ATN's Socke and Mouse's biGs. Yes, this is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. Socke, our teal Protoss player, spawning down here in the 6 o'clock spawn location of Shattered Temple. And then up here in the 12 o'clock, we have got biGs as the yellow Zerg player. Protoss versus Zerg, Socke versus biGs here on the Shattered Temple. Starting things out, yes, we will be seeing biGs send that Overlord into that near air position, and then we'll be rerouting it once he gets to about here, probably moving down to around that 6 o'clock, because that's where he's going to expect him to be. And actually right now you can see Socke scouting the edge of his base looking for the Overlord, because if biGs were right here in his spawn position, the Overlord would have been there just about that time, as you can see over here. One of those things that I've mentioned quite a bit in the past, but I do always want to remind you guys of for your own personal game, so that if you happen to get this map and you're against a Zerg opponent, you make sure you skirt the edge of that base around the 1 minute mark. That's going to tell you if they're basically right next to you, and that basically allows you to mine a little while longer before you have to move out with your scouting. Having that info, having that intel is always going to be a good thing. Alright, so right now Socke will be checking the 12 o'clock position, as he did not see an Overlord over here. The immediate assumption on this map is going to be that he's in the 12 o'clock. It's impossible for his opponent to spawn right here, which is what's considered that near spawn location. Close positions is what we'll actually call it. And you can see biGs now sending out his second Overlord, which will be going to the backside over here. And that first Overlord probably going to be chilling out right around here. Maybe even try to sneak over here, although that'll be a little risky, because by the time that happens, there should be some stalkers in play. biGs has decided to open up with some one-base play, going pool first and then extractor. We've seen that hatchery come down either sometime around now or closer to the 21 supply mark. He would like to get down earlier, of course, but that's going to really be dependent on whether or not that probe delays him. You can see right now, not quite enough resources yet. It's going to be really close. He's not going to be able to do it, as the probe makes it down before he has enough resources to drop the hatch. And now he's going to be able to harass right now, just moving around on a patrol route, delaying this hatchery as long as possible. 4 lings will be out very shortly. Once that happens, he can drop that hatchery, no problem. And there is the pylon getting laid down. That will be canceled eventually, probably either right before it finishes. Yeah, I think it's going to be canceled right before it finishes, as the lings won't even have enough time to damage it. Unless he decides to just let it go through. He can certainly do that. He will, of course, lose 100 resources once it does eventually die. And he decides to cancel. So there you go, canceling it off. Let's see if he's going to try to drop one more. Nope, actually trying to sneak his way back into the main, looking for Roach Warren and or Baneling's Nest. And doesn't make it all the way in, unfortunately, as the probe just get knocked out by that little ling right there. That is very sad indeed. One Zealot in the center of the map will be trying to intercept some of these lings. A couple of free kills unless the lings pull back, and there you go. Lings decide that's a bad idea. I don't want to do that. Now they are trying to engage and actually trying to work down his shields, but here's a second Zealot, and actually we got a third one on the way through as well. Very Zealot heavy here in the early game for Socke, as he will be attempting to apply some pressure against his opponent biGs. Deciding to leave those Zerglings alone and walk up into the main. Now what this is going to do right now here is going to force the biGs to make some more Zerglings. Really doesn't have much of a choice, and there it is, 10 more lings coming on through. Again, these two Zealots very threatening early on. They're going to be going straight for some workers, and this beautiful early game Zealot pressure will now be trying to get the Queen a third Zealot in play. Look at all this mining downtime, as biGs is not mining due to all of these Zealots just kind of dancing around inside of his main. Finally got all the lings out though, and now he can get a full surround on those Zealots and take them out. But what damage early game. Well, I guess he didn't kill off too many workers and ended up losing more resources. But, okay, keep in mind, with that said, there was a lot of time where there were no drones mining. And that did certainly set biGs behind. Having all that time without mining definitely didn't help his early game economy whatsoever. And back over here for Socke, we can see, of course, he is still on one base. Again, he invested so many resources in that early game aggression. Pushing out with 3 Zealots and actually losing them really does set him behind as well. But it's really, I don't know. Overall, I'd say they would be about even though resource-wise, Socke clearly did lose more. Losing that mining time did certainly hurt biGs in the early game, so certainly something to consider. Now we are going to see Socke try to move down into an expansion right now. As you can see, he's got a second and third gate coming on through, and he says now it's time to expand. He's just going to have to wait until he has probably one more sentry. Should be enough to push out on this small amount of lings. And let's see when he decides to go. Should be right about now. Is he going to wait for a fourth? Really? I don't think he needs to. I think he's going to be pretty all set with this here, as long as he tries to hug that pylon, make sure he gets some nice force fields down. He should be able to take care of that. There you go, just braving it, moving out, dropping that Nexus. And the Lings finally deciding to pull back right now, realizing they're not going to be able to delay that or stop that any longer. Second Spine Crawler come down over here for biGs. I guess he is worried about some counter aggression, and we do have a Sacrificial Overlord now also moving into the main. Sentries will be trying to kill that. I think they should get it in time. It's going to be kind of close. No, it looks like the Overlord is a goner. So three gate opening into expand there with that early aggression that we saw. Unfortunately, losing a probe there, Socke. That was quite unnecessary. Overlord does get taken care of there by those sentries. Sentry heavy is the name of the game when you do go for a 3-gate expand, and that's exactly what we're seeing Socke do. In addition to that, follow-up right here in the form of a Stargate. So we will be seeing some air pressure from him, and now moving out actually towards the center of the map. Very, very sentry heavy. There we go, getting another Zealot. I was going to say, he's got more than enough sentries right now, 7. You usually see about 6. Just deciding to get a little bit extra there, get a number 7. Between those sentry counts, and now moving to the center of the map, forcing the Ling back, and it looks like we may be seeing some early game aggression here from Socke. Probe moving out to drop that pylon. That's going to be dropped right over here, and he will be trying to provide a little bit of early game pressure. Now we do have a Roach Warren coming through, as well as 12 Lings here for biGs. biGs already with his Evolution Chamber in play, and he's got his lair just now starting, trapping a bunch of Lings there within those force fields, and continuing along his merry way. Now, oh, where's that Guardian Shield? Should have engaged that Guardian Shield before he decided to push forward. A little perplexed as to why he didn't, to be perfectly honest with you. Now moving to the backside, might be trying to go for these rocks. Certainly a possibility. Looks like he is. Will be destroying these rocks right now, providing himself an avenue into the eventual third. It does appear like biGs, in destroying these destructible rocks here by the high yield, will be planning to actually expand into that position. And Socke now deciding to pull back. Is he going to go for those Lings? No, not yet. Let's take a look back over here. Socke with a Void Ray. He's actually got 1 in play already. Second one coming through. We'll be killing the Overlord over there. And yeah, he's just going to be churning out those Void Rays right now. Now, where are his forces? Forces just sitting in the center of the map and deciding to pull back. He says, no more aggression for me. Now's the time to leave. Macro hatch over here for biGs. 6 Roaches coming through. Also got the upgrade of the speed here in that Gloud Reconstitution, plus the Zerg missile attacks level 1 will be getting researched, and a Hydra Den. Roach Hydra will be the composition of choice here for biGs in the early stage of the game. Coming down with that Spore Crawler, he did see those Void Rays, wants to make sure that he can deal with that. It's probably what also informed his decision to get that Hydra Den. And there you go. Once that's in play, he's going to have a better time dealing with this, although he's still on 2 bases. And that's not going to be the greatest of things. He doesn't want to stay on 2 bases too much longer against his 2-base Protoss opponent. A couple of Queens moving down to engage these 2 Voids. We do not have any more Voids coming out, although there's a Phoenix transition coming through now. 1 Phoenix already in play, and here comes a second. Might be some counter aggression here as we're seeing Roach and Speedling move across the map. Well, there's a Graviton Beam taking up the Queen, and that is a dead Queen. See you later. Taken care of pretty easily. Lings going to the back rocks over here. Roaches will be joining them just in 1 moment. Socke also breaking down his back rocks as he prepares to move into a third. Now biGs will have an open avenue into that expansion once that is up. Still over here, now second Phoenix joins the fray, and the Void Rays and Phoenixes trying to do as much damage as possible. We take a look at resources lost, and it does look like Socke is now behind. biGs is now behind as Socke is continuing to do some damage. Killing off a few more Overlords there as well. Pretty effective harass. Hydra's now in play, and that's certainly a threat to these units, but at the same time, Hydra's so slow off the creep. It's going to allow this harass to continue, especially since he can just bypass those Hydras whenever he deems it necessary. Might be a forced cancel here, going to be pretty close. Think he's going to have to. biGs forced to cancel that, delaying the expansion even further. There we go, snipes down the Void Ray. Unfortunately, Socke wasn't paying quite enough attention there. Wasn't able to pull it back in time. So dangerous. We got a bunch of Roaches and a few Lings over here. It's really going to delay this expansion. I don't think Socke knows about that at the moment. He has not pushed up and checked this expansion. So this is going to be a delayed expansion here as well for Socke. So biGs forced to cancel that, but also he's going to be delaying this expansion as he kills off the probe meant to drop it. Moving on down, and some more Phoenix harass taking place as we'll be lifting off some of those workers there. Void Ray is going to be heading home. Phoenix is actually finally pulling on back. And again, look at this. Forces delaying that expansion. That has got to be so frustrating for Socke. Socke does manage to get a pylon down, but it's going to get killed as the forces leave the base. Is it not? No, it's not. There we go, finally. Turn around, getting that free pylon. Moving across the map. So many Hydras, few Roaches here in the mix as well. Forcing those Phoenixes back, and he does get that free pylon kill. And as we can see, that third base just about finished over here for biGs. Now let's take a quick look at the upgrades. We do have those group spines coming out for those Hydralisks, increasing their range, of course. We are 0-1 right now for upgrades, going to be 0-2 as the missile level 2 attacks come through in just a moment. Speedling scouts checking the front, also moving into that expansion just to see what the heck is going on. We're seeing some nice creep spread here from biGs, gotta love it. It's certainly something that he needs to be doing to try to make sure those Hydras are as effective as possible. Also transition into some air tech as we are seeing a Spire come on through that is being built right over here for our buddy biGs, and now it's time to saturate that high yield expansion. Let's see if he plans to get a fourth as well. I don't think that would be a bad idea. If he tries to work up into his fourth base sometime soon, as he is expecting the third to come from Socke, and there it is, Socke now dropping that third. We'll want to make sure he gets some buildings down over here too, just to protect against any aggression. Maybe a couple of gateways and a few photon cannons that could do the trick, most certainly. Upgrades for Socke coming through, level 2 weapons upgrades. As level 1 armor upgrade already. Thermal Lance coming out as he is making that transition into Colossus. That's going to be a wise move, especially since he's up against some Hydras. Colossus do very, very well against the Hydralisk, as long as they stay out of range, of course. And there it is, full wall-up of gateways, plus probably just the one. I'd like to see a second cannon. I guess one will suffice for now, though, as Socke goes over here, gets some mining done, and then continues along his merry way. All right, so now Socke moving out across the center of the map with his forces. We're seeing Stalker heavy right now. Also does have that one Void Array, plus that Colossus, as we made mention of earlier. He's going to continue to get those upgrades. Moving out with an Observer as well to try to halt any more creep spread from his opponent biGs. And now biGs knows he is up against the wall. We got a big push coming out. 6 Roaches will be joining the fray as well as 8 Corruptors. Corruptors very effective, of course, against sniping down those Colossus. He's just kind of dancing around right now. He wanted to grab that tower. Look at that. He was able to scout the forces there. Now he knows where they are and what to do. 11 Roaches just about to pop. Think he's going to be okay. It's going to be really close, though. May still lose this expansion. Not engaging yet. We are going to see a force field wall. Looks like he's just sacking the Expo. He knows it's gone. See you later. High yield expansion. That gets taken care of. After that point, though, he is going to be prepared to engage, as he does have his Corruptors in play now. So we should be seeing an engagement in just one moment. Let's take a look at when this is going to happen. Moving up the backside, trying to get a few of those Phoenix kills as they are away from the bulk of the army. I think Socke was probably just using those to scout anyways. Will he attempt to counterattack? Oh no, never mind. He's just dancing around right now and waiting for the engagement. And here we go, about to take place right now. Corruptors moving out the backside to take out this Colossus, getting as close to those Stalkers as possible. Want those Hydras to be within range. Roaches too. Force field walls going down. However, there is enough of the Zerg army right now, and it looks like he's going to be overpowering the amount of Stalkers here in the middle. Blinking back as he just realized he's a bit outnumbered. Now the Corruptors don't have anything to target, as there are no more Colossus in play at the moment. And we've got 11 more Roaches coming through. Couple of pylons over here. There should be some harass taking place in a moment, as I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing some warped in Zealots. And here it is. Zealots getting warped in over here. We'll be harassing this expansion. This is going to be a huge headache here for biGs. biGs prepared to move into that third, but decides to pull back right now, I'm assuming because he saw these Zealots. Zealots going straight for that Expo. That is a big problem for biGs, as he did already lose one base. Can't really afford to lose this too. Roaches get there in time, but the hatchery has taken some damage, so a secondary push could be very effective from Socke. We'll have to wait and see what happens. No one's grabbing that tower yet. We'd like to see a single Ling and or Zealot there. Probably a Stalker, actually, for Socke, as he can blink that away. We do have the probe over here, and he will be dropping some pylons again and or scouting soon. I'm going to pull back, though. Ooh, what is he doing? I decided to just head back home. He's like, I'm out of here, guys. There's no way I'm sticking around here. Lots of Roaches chasing him. Couple Hydras there behind as well. Probably would like to see some more creep tumors to try to continue up that creep spread across the center of the map. biGs now mining from that third. Going to begin that high yield up in just a moment. And here is the time for the counterattack as biGs prepares to hit the third base. Now Socke has had time to transition, as he is coming out with his Templar archives now. So we'll be transitioning into Archons and High Templar. Level 3 weapons coming on through. Moving forward with those Roaches, we'll be engaging these Warp Gates. Should take them down pretty quick, but here come the reinforcements. Lots of Blink Stalkers. Unfortunately, again, Corruptors have nothing to attack because there are no more Colossus. And we probably won't be seeing Colossus for another couple of minutes here from Socke, as he is trying to make that transition, knowing that there are Corruptors in play. He wants to make a transition away from those Colossus, if at all possible. We'll be pushing now on the natural expansion right now, trying to move forward and do as much damage as he can. And keep in mind, we'll be seeing some Blink Micro here from Socke. As those Stalkers get injured, he should be pulling them back. There we go, trying to do what he can to pull back those injured Stalkers. There's still a lot of Roaches and Hydras here. We'll be doing quite a bit of damage. But it looks like actually Socke might hold out. It's going to be pretty close. So we'll have to see how much damage those Hydras do at the same time. Drop coming down here in back of this base, and they might be going straight. Yes, going for those workers. Going to be doing a lot of damage. Roach is now in the third here as well. Will be counteracting, doing a bit of damage himself. Still got a couple of Roaches situated over here. These ones stop all mining at that third base. Hydras come down to deal with the Zealots. However, they did manage to do quite a bit of damage. They are going to be taken care of. And now the Warp Prism lifts off and tries to pull away. Still in vision of the Hydras, though, and the Hydra's getting a couple of shots off. He's trying to sneak into the corner, and there we go. Now he is safely tucked away. Roaches have been forced back, but not before they drop the Expo. Very, very nice counter harass there. Manages to not only kill off a few workers, but also take out the Expo. He has still got his hatchery up. Still has this high yield up here as well. Does need to be aware that there will be another drop coming. In fact, it's taking place right now. Should be seeing that sentry drop down. Want to take a look at the workers killed. Socke has managed to kill off 43 workers this game. Here come the Corruptors, though. See you later, Warp Prism. Nice to know ya. He gets taken care of, and all of a sudden, no more harass coming here from Socke. Socke pretty low on mining. Let's take a quick look here. Big's got a pretty big advantage right now as he is mining from that high yield. We only have remote mining coming down over here because this Nexus is not finished yet, and this one should get resaturated shortly. Pretty interesting. We've got an Infestation Pit finally coming out here for biGs. We're 23 minutes in the game. He is just now getting Infestation Pit. That's actually pretty crazy, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's take a look at Socke Vision. Anything going on? No more drops coming through or anything like that. He doesn't have any Warp Prisms in play. Overlord scouting out over here. I'm thinking that this is to spot any future drops. That's going to be my assumption that that is what that is for. We'll be seeing a Roach push forward. He will be for scouting purposes. Couple Overlords for scouting moving out as well. And here comes an Observer Scout. So now Socke moving out with an Observer Scout. He just wants to see, all right, any transition? Am I dealing with that same unit composition? What's going on? That gets dropped immediately. Overseer spots it. Hydras snipe it out of the sky. Oh yeah, also those Corruptors. Those probably helped a bit. A couple Overlords over here. We'll be spreading some creep. Again, this is just all scouting. That is what's taking place there. Roach in the center of the map. We'll be spotting the forces moving out. A lot of High Templars. We do have that Storm researched as well, so do keep that in mind. The Storm will be effective against those Hydras, just as those Colossus are effective against those Hydras. Storm's not the greatest against the Roach, but we are Hydra heavy here, so let's see what's going to take place right now. Moving forward, trying to intercept this force as he attempts to move on to that high yield and drop it for the second time. It's going to be pretty close. Needs to be so careful as we will be seeing Blanket Storms. Is he just taking the loss? Looks like he may be. Storm, but nice army split there. As biGs avoids a bulk of that damage, but he has lost that high yield expansion, so that of course is the downside to not engaging that force. And now Socke will be moving up here. Again, those Storms just a little too threatening there for biGs' army. Just a little too threatening. And there it is. Storm's getting laid down, trying to split those Hydras, but Blanket Storm's doing so much damage. Hydras will get torn through. Roach is pretty much the only thing remaining. Couple of Hydras managed to avoid a bulk of that damage. Pulling forward now. We get some Archon transition coming out. He's going to avoid those for now. Go straight for the Stalkers. The unit actually dealing damage, and then now turn about. Take out those Archons. See you later. Okay job defending. Now he does have a few Blink Stalkers over here that did kind of peel away from that main army. And we'll be attempting to drop this expansion as well. This would not be good for biGs if he ended up losing this. Needs to be very, very careful. Moving forward with those Roaches. Takes it out. No longer a threat there. Stalkers get mopped up. We're going to be seeing any more counter-aggression from him, though. Looks like we may very well be, as he's planning to move out across the center of the map. We know a burrow research coming out, a few more Roaches as well, so he's going to be trying to stay a little more Roach heavy. Again, he knows he's dealing with Storms at this point, and the Roaches aren't that affected by it. Another engagement taking place now in the center of the map, and here we go. Fungal growth going down on the Stalkers, prevent them from blinking away. Target firing down 2 Infestors, though, with those Blink Stalkers. However, the Roaches and Hydras able to overpower the small amount of forces that Socke had there in the center of the map. Let's take a quick look at the income tab. About even. Socke is slightly ahead right now. Roaches will be trying to muscle forward. Another nice fungal growth there. And the Hydras do so much damage to those Stalkers as long as they're within range. A couple of Infestitarians will get dropped down, trying to do a little damage as he uses his forces to push away those Blink Stalkers. And actually moving down to those Infestitarians, unfortunately a little bit out of range there as the Stalkers are able to pick them off from a distance. Stalkers blinking forward, trying to chase down the forces here of biGs. He's doing a pretty good job. It looks like biGs will be losing a few more of these. We're gonna look at Socke vision. We got no drops going on. biGs doesn't have any counter aggression at all either. He has lost the rest of his forces, just trying to salvage and do as much damage as he can. Fortunately, he's got burrow research. Why did you not burrow? Does not have tunneling claws. I'm guessing that might be the reason why. I'm not exactly 100% positive though. I don't even know where that roach horn is. There it is, and there are no tunneling claws, so that hasn't been researched stealthily. Missing my vision, but Socke now moving up with those blink stalkers, and this is gonna be pretty close. He should be able to snipe that down pretty quickly. He's gonna go straight for the hatch, takes it out. Stalkers are goners, but actually no, they're able to blink away. Still, I think those roaches should be able to catch up. Let's take a look here. And oh, actually, wow, not enough forces there as the Stalkers are able to push back there, and biGs in trouble. He does have that high yield back up and running, and actually Socke has gone unhindered for quite a while over here at this expansion. So he's doing all right. Some very nice counter aggression there from Socke. I'm pretty impressed actually. Blink Stalkers now moving into the high yield expansion. He was going straight for the hatch right now, dealing with the fungal growth, and roaches taking out his forces because he was so focused on taking out that hatch and had to deal with those fungals. Ended up losing everything without actually dropping it, though. He did take it down 50%, so that's going to make it so that if we see a follow-up Blink Stalker attack on that position, he's got an opportunity to drop that. Counterattack coming through with some Speedlings and Roaches as he's trying to take out these vulnerable forces in the center of the map. And continue to move forward. We got a few infestors left. There should be enough for fungal growth, I believe, on that one right there. No, not quite enough yet, so Roach is going to be trying to protect those infestors. They get sniped down, and no burrows going down. I'm really surprised. He's got burrow research, but he's just not doing it. Don't know why. Roach reinforcements, though, take out the rest of the Stalkers as they were a bit too focused on dropping those infestors. And actually pretty vulnerable over here as he may be losing. Oh no, he's avoiding those. Should be taking out those probes. Those are some pretty solid free kills that he could be getting right there. It's time to push back against these Stalkers here in the center of the map now. And some more reinforcements. Blink Stalkers taking out Infestor, but not before he lands a fungal growth. Allowing the rest of the army to mop up, and biGs continues up this aggression. He will be now moving towards this third. First, though, time to take out some probes. Something I mentioned before, he's decided now is the time to do so. And again, nothing going on in response here for Socke. Socke is not doing any additional damage. Take a quick look at the army tab. Only 16 army supply here for Socke as opposed to 58 of biGs. And all of a sudden, biGs gonna be able to do a lot of damage. We do have a few more units being warped in. This is gonna be enough though. Fungal gets laid down. Still the Infestor gets sniped, but all the Stalkers get mopped up very quickly from those Speedlings. We get an Archon and a couple of Zealots in play. Not going to be enough though. biGs has got a lot of force left. And this expansion is gone, and Socke calls the GG. Alright my friends, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this game here between Socke and biGs. That's going to do it here, not a series, just the single game. If you like the content, as always guys, I ask you to subscribe. It helps me out so much. Thanks again for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.